Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today I am going to be sharing with you some new projects that I made with the Kokorosa metal dies that I received. If you haven't seen my original video, I showed you everything that I received from them, and I am doing a collaboration with them, and so this time I wanted to show you more projects with more of the dies. And then I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to make this really cool interactive card. So this is really cool. So I received this ticket die, and it's kind of a double ticket die where you cut what you need out of it and then you fold them in half. It makes two different tags. Well, it's a tag die, I guess, not a ticket die. It's about the size of a ticket, a little bit bigger. This is probably around 1.25 inches wide and 2.5 inches long or so. But you can make, with this one, you can make a shaker, which is what I did. So I have these little stickers that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. This is the cutest little set. I found this and I just love them because they have like candies and things, and since I do Candyland journals, that's what I made these for. So this one's a shaker and it has a couple stickers. It has a little candy charm that I added to it and some ribbon at the top. And then this one, I didn't make it a shaker. I just put some blue cardstock behind there and added some glitter to that. I don't know if you can even see that part, but then I added a cupcake sticker there and a little tiny tassel and some ribbon at the top there. So those are pretty easy. And then over here, I used a combination of these three dies on this one, the tag, and then this comes with the tag die set. And so I used some of the hearts, and then I used this teacup die. And the teacup die set comes with the three different ones with the three different patterns. So I made this for my Alice in Wonderland journals that are going to be coming soon. So I used a piece of Cricut Alice in Wonderland paper. I'll show you that paper here. This is a really cool set. And so I'm going to be making my journals using this paper for the pages, but also I wanted to use some of it for the tickets. There you go, buddy. All right, I'm going to go over there so I can continue. There we go. So with this, I just used the tag die, cut out my paper, and then I cut out the hearts and the teacup and added those on top. I used some Wink of Stella to put some glitter on the die cuts, and then I had this already made. These were from, I think, the Recollections flowers. I had that in my stash and it matched perfectly with the pink, and then I just added some ribbons at the top. So yeah, so that's pretty simple, just layering everything. And then this is the final thing that I made. I think this turned out really cute. I'm going to be using this in my my Wizard of Oz journals. And so what I did was I just cut, and I'll show you here in a second, I just cut some cardstock, and then I used the cloud dies. This is what the cloud die set comes with. And I used this hot air balloon set, and it comes with the hot air balloon and the banner. So if you'd like to see how to make this, just go ahead and keep following along and I'll teach you how to do that. So I started with a piece of blue cardstock. I cut it down to 3 inches wide by around 7.5 inches. This could be any size that you want it. And then I used my scissors and cut 2 corners off the top just to make it look like a typical tag. And then I took some Distress ink. It's Tim Holtz, and I'm not sure what the color was. I will put up the color here. But I just went around and did some edging on it just to add a little bit more detail and dimension to the tag. And then using the cloud dies that I received from Kokorosa, I had some already cut out, but I needed a couple more pieces. So I used one of the longer ones and put my white cardstock in there and just ran it through my Sizzix. And with these dies, it cuts the cloud formation part of it, but it doesn't cut it out completely. So you can make it as long as you want it just by trimming off the sides to loosen up where it cut, and then you can cut that down to whatever size that you want it to be. So before I cut the length down, I'm just going to layer them. And I kind of want the formations to be in different spots so it looks more natural. So I'm just going to play with all my pieces here and trim them down and just kind of lay it out before I totally cut them. The little piece at the top was some that I had already inked up. And then now I'm just playing with all the pieces to make them kind of go in different directions. And then I'm just going to trim it down at the bottom there. So now I'm just going to take my Distress ink and edge along the tops of the formations. And then you want to put some ink along the bottom of the cloud, so you'll need to put your layers together and see where that ends up. And this just kind of adds to how a cloud would look in the sky. It's a little bit darker along the bottom, and then you want it to have a little bit of dimension at the top. So it's not like a precision kind of thing. You just need to add, it's just simple to add to it, and then it looks like clouds. I think it looks awesome. So I'm doing that for each layer, and I kind of put them together after each one just to make sure that I have the ink where I want them to be. And then after I'm done doing all the inking, I'll go through and glue it down to the card or the tag. All right, I think just do last minute touch-ups there, and now I can start gluing it down. I'm just using my tacky glue like I always do. You can use whatever glue you like. It's easier to use the liquid glue, and tacky glue just works fine for me for most of my projects. Each time you put a layer down, you just want to make sure that you have it all lined up with your tag. And you could do this on a card or a page in your journal. So I just wanted to make a tag and show you how to do that. So after I have them all glued down, I went and took my Distress ink and went along the edges that didn't get the ink. Now I'm just going to use my crocodile and punch 2 holes on the top and the bottom. And this is, if you don't have a crocodile, it punches holes and it also sets eyelets. So I'm going to be using that to set the eyelets as well. So I'm going to put an eyelet in the bottom and in the top so that the hole will hold up to the thread being moved back and forth in there. So you just put an eyelet in and then use the center and punch it together. And these eyelets aren't the best. I think with the Crocodile, their brand works the best. It just depends. But I put the eyelets in there, and now I'm taking my twine and going in the front, in the back, and then going to the back of the card, and just going to tie a double knot in there. And you want to try and get it as tight as possible without buckling the tag. And then trim that. So now you have it there. I have one of my balloons already cut out, but I just wanted to show you cutting the second part out. So you'll need 2 balloons or 2 whatever die cuts you have that you want to use on your card. And then I'm just going through and poking out all the little pieces. I found on these really intricate dies like this that have a lot of cutouts that it's better that you use the thicker cardstock. It just cuts it out better, and it'll hold up better as well. So now I'm going to take one of my pieces and put some glue along the bigger parts of the die cut. And you definitely want them along the edges, and then I just put the glue on all the bigger parts. Then you stick it underneath. Make sure your knot on the back is all the way at the top, and then you're going to want to put your die cut near the bottom so that when you pull it, you'll be able to pull it the full length of the tag. Then you stick one die cut underneath the yarn or the twine, and then the other die cut you put on top, and you want to just match it up and get it as even as possible with the other die cut. And I would just hold it up, or you could even stick like a piece of parchment paper under there to let it dry so it doesn't stick to your tag. And then there's this little banner piece, so I'm just going to add some glue to that and stick it to the balloon. Now to finish off, I'm going to decorate it a little bit. I'm going to put some ribbon up at the top, and this is just a fun ribbon. It has like little dots on it, and I thought it matched well. It has some pink and some blue in it, but it is a grosgrain, so it's a thicker ribbon. So I'm not going to tie a knot at the top because it'll just be too thick. So I'm going to use some more of my twine and tie that up at the top. And at first when I made this, I wasn't sure if adding the ribbon in the eyelet would like keep the twine from moving the hot air balloon up and down, but it worked pretty well. So now you can just test it and move it back and forth just to get it loosened up a little bit, and then it'll work pretty well. And I'm taking some rhinestones. I'm just going to add a couple rhinestones to the balloon just to give it a little bit of a decoration. I have these little itty bitty Swarovskis that are actually left over from my dance costume making days of my daughter, so I use them on my projects now. You can totally decorate this and embellish it however much that you want, but I'm just adding a little bit. I'm going to use my Wink of Stella marker and just add some glittery finish onto the die cut, and then I also added it onto the tag around the edges and then on the balloons. You can't really see it here, but in person you can see it. I think these turned out so cute, and I hope that you are able to try making one. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, leave me a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.